My highlight looks really good today. That's that milk
yeah, it's
makeup
recording.
highlight.
All right.
Distracted by my glow.
Are you ready for your first question?
Sure.
Haterade78 says, I'm assuming you're a beard.
What does that even mean?
You don't know what a beard is?
I know what this beard is.
Shut up.
Not vulgar like you. I know it's something vulgar.
No.
Does it have to do with girls' privates?
No. It means that I'm gay and you're my cover.
Oh.
You're my beard.
Oh, I didn't know that.
What?
I didn't know that.
You don't read the internet?
Oh. You're gay. Are you gay?
No.
That'd be news to me.
It's a wrong assumption. You're supposed to say that assumption is wrong.
That assumption is incorrect,
All right.
to my knowledge.
Next question. You think this is my bad side or my good side?
I think they're both good sides.
I like this side though.
I like them all. Do you want to switch seats? What do you think?
And I look at you.
Mm-hmm.
I look at the camera.
Mm-hmm.
Smolder a little bit.
Hello, my friend. There is a video going around, assumptions about me. And I wasn't quite sure if there would be assumptions about me that weren't true. And then I asked and I found out there are quite a few assumptions about me that aren't true, but some of you all know me so well. So I brought my husband along to help read me some of these assumptions, and we're gonna have a little chat about those, whether they're true or not. Some of them are very telling. So if that sounds interesting to you, hang tight. We're getting into it right now. This is my husband, John. We've been married for how many years? 16? 13? Feels like 16.
16.
13 years.
We've been together.
We've been
about
together.
16
Right.
years, yeah.
Wow, I'm already talking over you. That was already one of the assumptions, that I'd like to talk over people, and I have trouble controlling my face when in conversation with others. It's a true assumption. This is my husband, John.
It's not always true. We're both just excited to talk to the camera.
I think that too. And I'm used to filming by myself, which makes a big difference too, as far as my talking. He does have a YouTube channel called JG3 that he just started about a week ago. So if you're interested in that, I will put a link down below. But yeah, so I asked on YouTube community and also on Twitter what some of your assumptions were about me. I will also be linking some of my favorite videos that other creators have done on this topic, because I think they're very interesting. So in case you're interested in watching more of these, links to those down below as well. All right, you ready to jump into these assumptions?
Let's do it. I got lots of assumptions here to choose from, so
Yes,
we're
you
not
do.
going to get through all of them.
I think there were about 250 on YouTube and about 50 on Twitter, so.
Caitlin Marie says, I assume that you and your husband have matching tattoos.
And that's incorrect.
It is kind of correct.
Well, it's incorrect because they're not completely matching.
No, they're not, but in the ballpark-ish.
In the ballpark-ish. I have, from our wedding invitations, I have the groom tattooed on my ankle, and then he has the bride tattooed that I did. My only tattoo I've ever done in my life, I did on him.
Yeah, and it took
so,
forever.
I don't remember
It's like-
that. Did it really take
You're
forever?
like sweating and
Oh, I
yelling the whole
was. I was
time.
freaking
Like,
out.
Oh my gosh.
Because I was putting permanent marks on you. I was freaking out.
So they're not matching, but they're related. Nikki Penwell says, I assume you were goth in high school. I also assume that you love goth rock music and other types of dark art.
That's incorrect too.
Eh.
I think you're more into that stuff than I am. I think people get that from the fact that I did a collaboration with Lindsay Schoolcraft from Cradle of Filth. I've also talked about going to the Perfect Circle concert with you, and we've talked about Maynard a couple of times on the channel. That's all from him. That's actually more him. And Lindsay from Cradle of Filth, that was more of me and her connecting rather than based on the music. So really, I'm very much a teen pop kind of person, which I'm very ashamed to admit. My daughter that's 10 and we listen to the same music.
There's nothing to be ashamed about.
Well, the fact that I rock out to the Biebs, that's not something to be ashamed about.
Come on, who doesn't like the Biebs? The Lady Lotus says, I assume your home is in damn near perfect order. LOL, pink hearts.
That's a big LOL. It was funny because there were a lot of them related to the cleanliness of my home. And I think a lot of that is assumed because my background is very clean. I'm one of those that I was raised to make piles. You know, that's how you clean, is you make a pile in the corner of all of your junk, And then that way everything else looks clean. So that's what I do.
Who cleans the piles up?
You do. He's the clean one.
Yeah, I'm the clean one.
He's the one that makes sure that the house does not look like a train wreck.
I don't know. I think I would be bored if you were always cleaning the house, and I would never have anything to like organize and clean up.
Right.
Raphael says, I assume that you're a down-to-earth person, someone who's not a pompous windbag like a lot of the other beauty gurus, someone who is accepting of all so long they are true and respectful, but don't let someone cross you because then it's on. How did I do? That's what he asks.
Raphael did a good job. That one's true for the most part. I mean, I feel like on the internet, I'm more likely to be a don't cross me kind of person than I am in real life.
Yeah, I think that's true. You're not like very confrontational unless it's necessary.
Right.
At least in real life. On Twitter, you're a loudmouth.
I am. And I think it's because I'm so protective of people that I care about. And whenever I feel like anybody's messing with my subscribers, messing with, people being dishonest, like whenever I take all that stuff like, how dare you try to trick my subscribers into buying some junk product, and I get upset. I get upset whenever I see anything that seems deceptive or disrespectful or anything. The claws come out a bit, but I feel like that's more on the internet than in real life.
Yeah.
Even though the internet is kind of real life, but
Yeah, I mean,
you get what I'm trying to say.
kind of real life.
Yeah, you get what I'm trying to say.
Gift from Mars Kiss It says, I assume you smoke weed. You smoke the weed, bro?
I don't.
No.
I don't. And I know that's going to disappoint some people, and it's going to make some people very happy. I do not smoke the herbage. I am not anti-weed. It's just, I don't like being impaired, I think is my thing with it, is I don't like the feeling of it, because I have partake in some cookies once, and it was a bad experience.
But you hardly even drink, though.
No.
So I think it kind of goes along with that whole, like, you just enjoy being, like, level and sober.
Right, yeah. I don't like feeling like I'm out of control of my own body. And I think I've matured into that, because when I was in college, I definitely partook of quite a bit of alcohol in college and was very impaired on the regular. But as I grew up and became an adult, I don't enjoy that as much. I don't enjoy feeling sick after either, which happened to me quite often in college.
Nora B says, I feel like you own a motorcycle.
That's incorrect too.
No.
There's a couple people that thought I owned a motorcycle. Actually, motorcycles terrify me. He used to own a motorcycle, and every time he went out on it, I was terrified that something was going to happen to him. They scare me.
Aaron Hunter says, you know who you are, so you don't care if people or brands get mad at you. Also, you have some weird talents. Weird hidden talents. Did I say
Weird
hidden?
hidden talents.
Yeah.
I don't care what brands think of me at all. What was the second part?
Also, you have some weird hidden talents.
My weirdest hidden talent is that I can say all of the names of the states in the United States in alphabetical order really, really fast.
Ready, set, go.
Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas, California, Colorado, Connecticut, Delaware, Florida, Georgia, Hawaii, Idaho, Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Kansas, Kentucky, Louisiana, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota, Mississippi, Missouri, Montana, Nebraska, Nevada, New Hampshire, New Jersey, New Mexico, New York, North Carolina, North Dakota, Ohio, Oklahoma, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, South Carolina, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, Vermont, Virginia, Washington, West Virginia, Wisconsin, Wyoming.
Oh my. Caroline Collins says, I assume your husband and you are complete opposites.
I think that's true in a lot of ways. But we have, not complete, but I think in like the surface things we're very opposite.
I like to explain it as like we're opposites but complementary. Like we have the same values, the way that we live our lives and the way that we raise our kids, but in a lot of our interests and a lot of the things that we do are a lot different.
Definitely.
Opposite
We have,
but complementary.
right. Yeah, I think we're the same in ways that matter.
Nikita Ganesh says, I assume that you got married young or eloped.
That's not true. Well, you did. You got married young.
Yeah, ish.
Young-ish.
Yeah, I was young.
Well, I met you when you were 20. I was 24. And then, yeah. And then we got married 26 and 22, right?
I was 23.
23. You were 20. Oh.
23 and 27.
Okay. Yeah, he knows numbers better than I do. He has a better memory than I do.
Yeah.
So,
Because,
23, 27.
she's getting old.
Yeah.
Yeah, I advocated for eloping. I was like, let's just go somewhere and get married and not blow a bunch of money on it. But Jen, as you know her, is she's very traditional and sentimental with a lot
Very
of that
sentimental,
stuff.
extremely sentimental.
I'm glad that we had the wedding that we did, though.
We had a really fun wedding.
Yeah.
Our wedding was awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
It was very us.
Anissa Bravo says, I assume that you aren't a pet person. You like the idea of them, but don't have one.
That was actually probably true of me when I was in my early 20s.
It's like a half-truth.
I really wasn't a pet person for my entire childhood into young adulthood. But then we got our cats, and I kind of became more of a pet person because I absolutely love my cats. But then when we got our dog, that was when I really became a pet person. Like, I love my cats, but my dog, man, is my heart. I love that dog. And I didn't even pick him out. I didn't even want to pick that dog up. And he brought him home, and it was within maybe a month I was like super attached to him. And the more like he lives with us, the more I just love all over that stinking dog. I'm more of a pet person now than I was.
Shelby Meringue says, I assume that you and your kids are very close and you allow them to express themselves in their own healthy ways. I also assume that you are very fun to be around.
Well, you can answer the second one, but the first one, we definitely are very, very open with our kids and letting them be who they are. You know, my son has very long hair. My daughter is Wiccan. She's been Wiccan since she was 6. So, I mean, I think that it's one of those things where we feel like it's important for them to find who they are and for us to support them in exploring who they are. Because who knows who you are when you're, 7 years old or 10 years old. Getting to know who they are as people, I think, is really important, instead of trying to say, well, you can't be like that because you need to be more like us, kind of thing, because they aren't us. And am I fun to be around?
Man, come on, man.
Sometimes.
Yeah. I think you're
imagine.
fun to be around. I mean, we kind of dated and got married for a reason.
Yeah.
The thing that I like best about Jen is, for the most part, she's usually down for adventure or doing the crazy ideas that I come up with, So like you're usually like on board to at least try something, unless it's something that you're just like deathly afraid of or just opposed to for one strong reason or another. But I think it's fun that you're usually kind of down for whatever. You're like very easygoing.
And that's probably going to surprise some people that don't know me very well, is that I'm very easygoing.
Yeah.
Like, I think people think that I'm a female dog, but not so nice of a word.
I think that there was probably some of those assumptions in here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a few. About that I'm just a very strong, like, opinionated, push myself on others kind of person. But I'm really not. Not really. I mean, I think that I can see why people would think that, just because of the way I come across in my videos, and I see it too. So I can definitely see why. But it's not real.
Sarah D. Armand says, I assume you have a piercing we don't know about, and that you hate cooking since you pay so much attention to makeup, since it's your job. You'd rather go out to eat or let your husband cook.
So I don't have any hidden piercings. I have my ears double pierced, but I don't usually wear the second hole. But those are my only piercings. I used to have my belly button pierced, but that fell out in college. And as far as cooking, I love cooking. Sometimes, of course, like everybody, I think there are days that I don't want to cook and I don't feel like cooking, which I would rather go out or have. He doesn't really cook much, except for himself.
When I do, it's like very simple.
Yeah.
I cook like chicken and rice.
Yeah.
And some broccoli.
Right.
And then you like recipes and baking and process, and I'm like, that's just too much, man. It's like salt, pepper, eat it, done.
Yeah, but I like making it like a restaurant style meal.
And you do a good job too.
Thank you.
I appreciate that.
Thank you.
I was just saying that last night. I was like, I'm so glad that you cook. Plinkin.
Lincoln doesn't like me, I don't think.
3 different comments. Well, I'm just gonna read them really quick.
Okay.
You like to bicker and pick fights with people you like or are comfortable with. I assume that you have a very strong personality that other strong types cannot get along with. And you don't mind being abrasive or confrontational.
And Plinkin is not alone. I just have to say it. Plinkin is not alone in believing all of that.
There was a lot of people that had similar comments, but Plinkin made 3.
So very strong opinion on that.
Yeah.
And I would tell you if it was true. I would tell you. But I really do get along with pretty much everybody that I hang out with. Like, I don't, like, I go to events, like beauty events and things, and I don't think there's ever been a situation where I haven't gotten along with somebody, where it's been like a strong personality and I haven't gotten along with them. I mean, you can ask, you know, anybody that I've ever met if I have a strong, abrasive personality, and they'll tell you no, because I don't. And that's the truth.
She's not abrasive.
No,
I think maybe, again, kind of going back to it, like, I think because you have strong opinions about things, people sometimes take that as you being confrontational.
Right.
But I think, you know, when you're having a conversation online, sometimes your intention can get skewed or, you know, inflated. Mm-hmm. And so I think maybe. And
I'm also very passionate. Like, when I believe in something, I'm very passionate about it. I've always been like that, where I've been passionate. So I think that that's part of it too, that it's more my passion coming out rather than aggression, but it can be interpreted as aggression.
Liz, not slow, says, I assume the negative emotion you struggle with the most is anger, more than fear or shame.
I think that I disagree with that. I don't really feel angry very often. It's pretty rare that I feel angry. I would say more fear than anything would probably be out of those three, just because I'm afraid of, like, I don't know, what am I afraid of? What am I actually afraid of? I don't know. This is therapy now.
You want to lay down?
I know, like lay down on the couch.
I don't want to influence your, you know.
I know. I don't know. I think I want to do a good job so badly. I think that I'm afraid of, like, making big mistakes that lead people in a wrong direction, or, you know, I want to do a good job so badly that's I think my fear is that I'm going to cause someone to waste their money because I didn't do a good job. And that, I think, is, in, you know, my channel wise, what my biggest fears are, you know. And with my kids, you know, trying to be a good parent, trying to make good choices, you know, fear of messing them up in some way or another by my choices. You know, I think that would be more, not anger though. I don't really struggle with anger.
No, I don't see that either.
It's pretty rare.
The Honest Beauty Review says, you love sleeping in cozy sweatshirt and tube socks.
I hate socks on my feet. I hate socks. Like, I would go without socks for the rest of my life if I could. I hate socks.
Yeah.
I only
Even
wear
in the
them,
winter.
Even the winter. I'm not wearing socks right now.
I do laundry, and I'm like, where are your, like, you wore shoes this week, didn't you? Like, what?
And then what was the other part of her? She had another part.
Oh, you love sleeping in a cozy sweatshirt and tube socks.
Cozy sweatshirts if I'm cold. I have my weighted blanket that I love. Mm-hmm. So it depends on how warm I am, whether I will wear a cozy sweatshirt or not.
Yeah, I think that your weighted blanket is kind of your cozy sweatshirt. Like, makes you feel secure and kind of tucked in.
Oh, I love my weighted blanket.
Sherry Slaughter says, I think you're a night person and you have to have coffee right when you get up.
Mm-hmm. Very true. Ding, 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 ding,
accurate.
ding, you win.
Very accurate.
Very,
night
very
person,
accurate.
Coffee was the first thing in the morning.
Very accurate.
Scarlett M says that you are very sensitive and sometimes take things to heart too much or assume too quickly.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Oh, that's true.
Ding, 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 ding.
You win too.
You
win.
Yep,
that's true. And I've been working really hard on not assuming too quickly. I've been working on that. That's a struggle.
Lael says, I assume you're a huge Harry Potter fan.
I'm a Harry Potter fan. I would not disrespect huge Harry Potter fans by saying that I'm a huge Harry Potter fan, because I know there are huge Harry Potter fans that are huger than I am. Huger, because that's good grammar. Master could give Dobby a sock. Dobby is free. That's my favorite.
Allie's son says, I assume that as a child you got in trouble for talking in class a lot. You also weren't afraid to take on the bullies at school, defending yourself and your friends.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Yep.
You got in trouble for talking a lot in class?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
My Life as Diane says, I assume you agonized over starting your channel, that it took a lot of soul searching and encouragement from others, but you knew in your heart that you had something to offer and then thought, why the heck not? And did it.
That's really sweet, but it's not true.
That was me.
That was you.
Starting my channel.
That was you.
Actually.
Yeah, totally. It was like, this YouTube thing is a real thing. All right, we're doing this. Like, it was like that. It was like, okay, this thing exists. I'm on. Like, I felt this is my dream job, doing something like this. If I could have told my 10-year-old self that this was going to be my job, I would have freaked out.
Yeah.
Like, this is me. This is the perfect job for me.
Nikita Ganesh says, I assume that your husband was in a band in high school/college. No. I love music so much, though. Like, I totally sing in the car and in the shower and in the kitchen, everywhere. Like, I love music, and I've always wanted to be a musician, but I don't play instruments. Marissa Fairfield says, you were student body president in high school.
Close. I was treasurer. I was treasurer. I was too intimidated to run for president, so I didn't run for president, but I was class treasurer junior year and senior year. I was more of the most school-spirited person. There were a lot of questions about, like, that I was a cheerleader. I was not a cheerleader. I was actually a varsity football manager, which means that my job was to hang out with the football team and bring them towels and water and things like that, and I loved that job. I did it with my two best friends, Emily and Grace. It was the three of us, and we had a blast. But yeah, I wasn't a cheerleader, but I was very involved in school. I was, in the yearbook, and I was in all the plays and all of that, but I was not a cheerleader.
Victoria H says, your secret dream was to be an MTV VJ, or maybe I'm just showing my age.
I love that. I would have loved to have been a VJ. I was a big Downtown Julie Brown fan.
Oh, thank you, Julie.
You're welcome. I was just saying earlier that Michael Jackson wears plain black pants and sequin socks, and you got sequin pants and
no socks.
What does that mean?
That mean I dance my socks off.
You better believe it, right here on the beat.
All right.
On TV.
I love Downtown Julie Brown. I thought she was awesome.
I don't remember that person.
You don't remember Downtown Julie Brown? She's great.
I think that was...
Yeah. And then regular Julie Brown. She was a nut.
Well, I see split ends are universal. Lost in space with no conditioner, huh?
I liked her too, but she wasn't really a VJ.
So this one's a funny one. I think you remember this one as soon as I start reading it.
Okay.
Maria Casey says, it's funny. You've actually been asked many of these assumptions before. I bet you will share what you want to share and that you won't want to address 40% of these assumptions. And then you responded, which ones do you think I'll avoid? I'll make sure to hit at least a few.
And then they didn't respond.
Where are you at?
Where are you at?
Where are you at?
Calling me out? Okay.
Yeah. I really didn't see any on here that I'd be like, ooh, she's not going to want to answer that.
But yeah, I mean, I don't have any problem answering. I mean, the political ones I think are a little bit like harder because I don't want to polarize people.
I did skip that.
There was
purposely. I skipped that. You didn't ask me to, but you had it on the list here.
But I mean, I think it's kind of polarizing to talk politics just because that's not really where my channel goes is politics. But just know that no matter how I feel politically, I'm very accepting of people that and their own right to believe what they want to believe. And I do have friends that are not politically leaning the same way that I am. And I am fully accepting that they have a right to have their own beliefs. I do feel very strongly about my political convictions, but I don't push those on other people. At least I try not to.
Yeah, there was like a religious one on here. I think that's reasonable to skip to for the same reasons. It's like not...
I could tell you my whole religious background if you wanted, but you might be bored.
All right, we'll do a fun one for the end.
Okay.
Abby Rogenkamp says, also, I definitely assume that you have non-dairy milk in the fridge.
We do, but it's not my fault.
We do.
I wouldn't buy it. That's him.
Yeah.
It's his fault. So that's kind of the fun, lighthearted last one. I hope that you all enjoyed this. I had fun filming it. I always have fun filming with John. I feel like you guys submitted some really great questions and some really interesting assumptions. If there's anything that I didn't cover in this that you're curious about, I don't know if you guys think that there should be like a part 2 to this. We could technically do a part 2. And you can ask me harder things if you want. I don't care. I'm very open about who I am as a person, and I've learned in the past few years that that's not very likable to some people, but that's okay. It's all good. I'm finding my place as far as accepting that not everybody's gonna like me.
It's a big internet out there.
It's a big internet.
And you just gotta be yourself.
Right, and that's who I am.
And find your people.
Yeah, and I think that you're my people. I do, because you're still here. After that whole video, you're still here.
Still here.
You're my people, man. Thank you. I appreciate you. And thank you, John, for filming with me.
Yeah,
I
this was fun.
appreciate you. And thank you for watching. If you're not already subscribed and you're still here, you should definitely subscribe because I think you'll like my channel very much. And mad love to you. I'll see you in a video very, very soon. Don't forget to check out John's channel over JG3. And yeah, we'll see you soon. Mad love. Bye.